Have you checked the children? Use your little match
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bienvenidos, putrid patrons. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
Robert the Wolfman.
And we are talking none other than another patron-requested review. Sorry, I thought you were going to roll with the intro of it. It's all good. It's all good. Good. Seth T. Miller, you are the purveyor of all of these werewolf films that Sir Robert has so much fun getting to discuss. So what are we talking about today?
Howl from 2015.
And I can hear the howl!
So this is actually, this is the British film, and real quick, just going over, we'll just jump on story real quick, and then we'll go into overall thoughts. Story, just a quick gloss over, it's about a group of passengers on a train traveling through the northern part of England, and upon their route, their train hits a deer. And
or does it?
yeah. It might have gotten chucked out there. I don't know. But either way, they hit a deer and everything, and once the conductor goes out to investigate, he's killed by werewolves. And if you guys notice, the conductor is Sean Pertwee, who plays Sarge in Dog Soldiers.
So there's a connection. Shout out to the Neil Marshall fans.
Yes. God, I love that movie. I'm still super salty we never got a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been saying recently that he still wants to do another one. You know, after The Reckoning recently came out. The Reckoning's really good too.
From what I've heard, the script is written. They just never filmed it.
Yeah.
And they had plans on doing a little web series for Dog Soldiers and whatnot. Yeah. They even put out a teaser trailer and whatnot for that, and that looked cool. They just snuffed it right in the closet.
Yeah, sometimes finding the funding, and that's why so much horror gets as low budge as it does. I think because of the fact that finding significant funding is tough in that regard.
Yep.
And this is definitely a lower budget werewolf film, but for me, I mean, since you kind of hit the story already.
Yeah, jump into overall thoughts.
I just wanted to jump into my overall thoughts. This one I thought was very solid, very strong as far as werewolf stuff goes. And the fact that, I mean, anytime you are just containing things to a single location, that's going to cut down significantly on your budget. I related to the plight of our lead dude and his kind of dissatisfaction within his job and the thanklessness of it, and the fact that everybody is being rude to him when he's just trying to do his damn job. Yep. I've been in situations like that where you're like, come on, why are you giving me shit here?
Yeah.
I'm following protocol. I have to, where the grill is smoking, or whether, the people are like, why don't you have a real job? And I'm just like, there's far worse jobs that you could have than, being this guy walking around the train and, checking tickets and stuff. But I don't know what the social, role and view of it is over, across the pond. But characters were relatively likable, and those who weren't supposed to be, they fulfilled that job as well. Werewolf effects weren't bad,
No, they weren't bad.
They're not amazing. Don't expect the Howling or American Werewolf in London or anything like that. But this was still I enjoyed this. It was a different enough spin, and also a different spin on werewolf lore a little bit too.
Indeed.
Which I think you'll be able to give some more insight about. But my overall impressions were that this was a pleasant surprise. I remember when we did a trailer reaction to this when it was finally going to be hitting stateside. Okay. I want to say it was 2017, 2018 when it was finally coming over here, because it was released internationally, and just as often happens, it took forever to make its way to North America. But it lived up to the moderate expectations that I had. This was a solid werewolf film.
Hell yeah, good to hear.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the werewolf movies. Okay, so when I first initially watched this, so I followed it on upcoming horror movies when it was first released for production.
Oh wow! So you kept tabs on it for that?
Oh
long,
yeah,
huh? Damn, dude.
There was a lot of them and everything, and some of them that went through developmental hell and got pulled back out, and then got dumped back through and everything. But no, this was one of those it was an intriguing story from the get-go. When I first initially watched it, though, I'm not gonna bullshit.
You weren't a fan.
I wasn't actually a fan.
Really?
And my biggest reason was the werewolf design.
Yeah.
That was other than that, I thought it was a very solid movie, but where at the time it was lacking for me on the werewolf design. Going forward on multiple times of actually going back and rewatching this, it's grown a lot on me, especially because it's 95% practical with CG enhancements, which is what they should be doing. Hands down.
Nice little. So practical is the base, but
practical
then
is the base,
just like
and then,
a little extra seasoning on top of the CGI. You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what they did, and it worked out really well. But at the same time, it was our characters and the actors that really outshined even our monsters, because in a sense this is a bunker style werewolf movie.
Very much so.
Because they're
trapped on the train.
They're trapped on the train.
Yeah.
You can't get out. Where the hell are you gonna go?
Well, yeah, they try getting out at one particular point, and then peeps are getting picked off, and they're like, "Nope, we're going back on."
Exactly. But my question though too is like, okay, those were the only people on that whole train.
Well, I mean, it was a weird late night, kind of romp and whatnot. I mean, if it's a late night on a weekday, and plus you can only have so many people in a movie like this.
Yeah, but we could at least gotten a good old bloodbath scene of like maybe
mass
two or three
carnage.
Cars behind them just getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
That would have been dope.
Yeah. Once again, the limitations of budget.
Exactly, but
obviously.
For what we got, it delivered very well. So yeah, just going finishing up really on overall thoughts. Initially, I wasn't too jazzed about it, but going back, I developed a lot more merits and love for this movie, and it's definitely something I still need to put in my collection. For all the damn times I've rewatched it, I still don't know why I haven't bought it.
Yeah. Because that would all add up to obviously a purchase of this film as opposed to just renting it over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, we hit a story like so essentially, they get broken down as Robert mentioned, and there are some attempts to just make everybody's way out, and even though our main character is like, nope, protocol is for everybody when we break down to stay on the train and wait for some sort of service assistance to arrive, but yet they're in like kind of a dead zone, and so they can't even, like, nobody's cell phones are working. They can't communicate.
They can't get any power really to the trains and whatnot. And
yeah, so it is basically like huddled in this bunker style sort of situation, or do you really try to make your way out? And of course, over time, peeps get slowly picked off, like the jersey wearing tubby dude, and I especially enjoyed the beat with the older woman and just the denying of her husband, and what was very apparently transpiring without spoiling things. But
that though, I think, just on a quick touch onto the effects, I think that scene with the older lady's makeup,
it's one of the best.
It is one of the best in the entire movie, and it was legitly creepy.
Yeah.
Like I would have crapped myself and had a heart attack at the same time if I saw her coming at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. But I do agree with you though that I feel like it was a little bit more effective when they were showing just these quick flashes of the creatures, as opposed to like when you saw them for extended sequences. That's where,
but they
kind of the wonkiness of the design was a little bit more apparent.
But it, like, at the same time, is when they finally did like release the full show of the werewolves, we were only in maybe the last like 20 minutes of the movie. So it was kind of like that Jaws thing. You saw little snippets just to kind of get the mind going.
I mean, there were a few extended shots on the train.
A little bit,
but like when we saw many of them.
Exactly,
in
but they were covered
in
in like the darkness, so we only got to basically see the silhouette and the eye shine. But even like the one scene of when the girl gets ripped out the window.
That scene was awesome.
That scene was that was crazy. And then later on, once they're off the train, and then you get that scene in the tree, like, dude, that's brutal.
And also what happens to the guy at the very end of the movie, I thought that was fairly cathartic, and then how it's him confronting other asshole character, which, I mean, granted, I knew honestly, it was inevitable.
But I was at the same time, I was okay, and I was happy with that.
I was very satisfied.
Satisfied, that's definitely a better word. I was very satisfied with that ending.
Yeah, because there's certain times where you're like, okay, I want the movie to do this, and then if it doesn't, you're just like, oh, god damn it, why not?
But that's the thing. Like, this movie actually did deliver on.
That was the term I was just going to use.
It delivered on all the points of what you want, even on like your bunker style werewolf movie. It hit all the prime points that you'd want.
Yeah, and I liked all of the performances once again. Just to double down on that, our lead guy that I kind of related to a little bit and sympathized with, having done sort of service type work in the past where I had to deal with people just being needlessly rude, and then the fact that he kind of rises to the occasion, even though he's a little timid at first, but he slowly he has an interesting arc in the fact that he comes in his own, much more so than at the beginning where he's trying to ask the girl out and then she totally shoots him down.
He's a little simpish.
Turned away from the promotion and all this, and yes, simpish is a very very good way of describing it.
He's a little simpish and everything, and then he gets a little bit more alpha towards the end.
Yeah. He rises to the occasion, comes into his own. And I mean, I guess we did cover gore and effects and stuff like that.
A little bit and everything.
Anything else you wanted to mention in that regard, since you're the werewolf expert?
I would say, not really particularly. Because there's details on the werewolves like I don't want to talk about because
there's a very pronounced snout.
Exactly, it's the detail that would be more of like the spoiler in it. So I don't want to. I don't necessarily want to get into it, but it's 95% practical. So if you guys are like the rest of us here at the horror show, we like practical effects.
Yes, we do.
And just that little CG enhancement, and you're primo to go.
Yeah, and I also did like just to pivot really quick back to the story. I liked the aspect of the fact that they were like, yeah, trains have broken down in this area before. All passengers have disappeared, and just to show the full scale of how many in this remote area where obviously it's just train tracks next to it and there aren't like a lot of homes or people living in that area or whatever. I thought that they at least built the backstory in an intriguing fashion, and so that's another thing. Score and sound design and stuff like that. I mean the ripping of bone.
I would say the sound design
was very effective.
That definitely outshined the score. I would say because the
score was nothing that stuck with me.
Exactly, but the sound effects of the snapping of bones, the ripping of flesh, the screams off in the distance of the woods.
Yeah, big time.
Like that,
especially the notable pulling through the window.
Exactly. Yeah,
so one of the most effective scenes.
That definitely was because that was a big moment. I was expecting it, but at the same time, I wasn't.
And I also loved where dude was under the train and just hearing, what was kind of when he was under a train. That was a very tense, effective scene.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of pissed with what happened with that.
Okay.
Like
without spoiling things.
Yeah, exactly. I was a little salty. I'm like, you're right there, bro.
Yeah.
But no. So
but as a whole, I mean, is this one of the stronger werewolf films in your estimation?
This is definitely one of the stronger werewolf movies that come out within the past at least 15 years.
15, 20 years.
At least. Like we've had
post-millennium.
Yeah, like we've had some like the good ones and everything. So even some like the smaller budget ones, granted, like their effects were god awful. Like there's one Werewolves.
I've seen that.
It was all right. It was a good for like a sci-fi movie.
And there's that new one that's about to come out from the guy who directed Scare Me, Josh something. God, I can't think of his last name. And
crap.
Yeah, and the title is eluding me at this particular.
Well, I know there's Werewolves Within.
I think that's the one.
You guys just did
that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, because it's based off the VR game.
Mm-hmm.
That actually looks really fun.
Yeah, and the fact that it has like kind of a kind of a campy vibe to it, which I'm totally all about. So
it's
almost like a Wolf of Snow Hollow sort of approach.
It's Clue with werewolves.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
All for it, man. But Howl, we give thanks once again to Seth T. Miller.
And it is available on Prime if you guys want to check it out and everything.
Prime. You don't have to rent it.
Nope. Highly recommend watching it.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Indeed.
But other than that, I think that's going to pretty much do it with this review for Howl. Thank you again,
Mr. Miller.
Mr. Miller. I'm getting all tongue-tied here. But yeah, as always, we appreciate you guys. If you guys want to become a patron, link is down there at the description box. Hit that. And you got tier lists every month and everything. Basically every month.
Yeah, at this particular point.
Yeah, at this point, we got tier lists coming out every month. Tell us what you guys want us to review. Give us...
Reviews and commentaries.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Fuego.
Yes, indeed. Yes. I mean, we will basically talk throughout an entire movie to disrupt your watching process. We will do that shit.
Even if you guys want us, even if you guys give us a really bad movie, we'll give you a really good review of how much crap we talk about it.
If you just want to see us squirm and be just like, why are they putting us through this process? But hey, we're there for that too.
Yeah, exactly. We enjoy it nonetheless, and we do it for you guys because we love the hell out of you.
Indeed, most stuff.
So from everyone here at the Horror Show, I've been Robert Duell.
And I've been Jaime and Fuego.
And remember,
stay scared.